What is up, guys? Frosty Osty 0232 here today for another Frosty Features. Today we've got another Mercs for Money character. We have the anthropomorphized Pandapool! It's a panda version of Deadpool coming to Marvel Strike Force. If you haven't been to Frosty Features before, what this is a comic book background on the tunes that you use in Marvel Strike Force. And I am your humble guide through the pages in which comic art is laid. According to Scopely, this is the blog post description of the character. We will rate this description at the end of the feature. Imagine an alternate universe. Got it? Good. Now imagine Deadpool, but instead of being human, Deadpool is an anthropomorphic panda. Oh, and he really likes bamboo. And there you have it. Pandapool! Don't overthink it. Instead, think about the pandemonium he'll cause in battle. Okay, we're gonna overthink it. This is a character in the comic books, and that's my job, is to overthink it. Everybody else can, go hug a cactus. Here's our boy from the comic books, Pandapool. I left the dialogue box because I thought it was funny and appropriate for Deadpool-themed things. Name. His name is unrevealed, but he is from Earth 51315. He is the only character / creation / creature from that universe as we still know it. It is only known as the universe of Pandapool. First appearance. His first appearance is in Deadpool Kills Deadpool #2 back in 2013. And so far, we will cover the entirety of history because he's only shown up in 3 comics. Deadpool Kills Deadpool #2, #3, and he dies in #4. That's it. So he's only in 3 issues. All of this information is going to be based off of that and other things I was able to find. One of our first things that we're going to attack at the end of this is bamboo is never brought up in the comics as something that he likes to eat, right? In fact, it's brought up that he has a similar appetite to regular Deadpool. Powers and abilities, healing factor, and comic awareness, right? So Deadpool is aware that he is in a comic book or what have you. He becomes aware. It's actually a very big part of Pandapool's story. So with this comic awareness, he has that fourth wall ability. A big difference between him and other Deadpool versions, he doesn't speak. So that's something really heavily to keep in consideration. Aliases. Pandapool's a no duel. We don't even know his real name. He is referred to only as the Panda or Pandapool, right? So he is what he is. He is Pandapool, right? These are the things that matter. Affiliations. His only affiliation as of this recording date is Deadpool Corps, which come together in the Deadpool Kills Deadpool storyline. Background. It is holistically unexplored, and there's no good way to assume it. Pandapool legitimately just shows up and starts being Deadpool's best friend for 3 issues. And he's really just there to be a joke for Deadpool, but it's pretty funny, and he does do bear things, so that's all that matters. He's a bear panda. He's a bear panda. He's a bear. Deadpool. Bear panda. Oh my god. Who died? Can't be a superhero, supervillain without somebody dying, and in this case, trillions of people. The storyline of Deadpool Kills Deadpool follows the Killustrated and Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe. So for Pandapool to be brought into the universe that the audience sees, Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe has to happen first. So Deadpool literally kills out a multiverse, more or less. So trillions and trillions of people die, and then we're introduced to Pandapool. Is it a direct relation to how he is as a hero? Maybe not. Maybe not. We don't know enough about his background. There's not enough about his universe. His universe could have only spawned because Deadpool killed somebody specific. His universe could predate that of Marvel Kills the comic or Marvel universe. Deadpool Kills the Marvel universe. But Pandapool, we as readers only get to see Pandapool because of that. So my argument is that the trillions of people died so that we could have Pandapool. Right? We're filling in the blanks. Telepathic link to other Deadpools. So, Pandapool can't talk. There's only one, to my knowledge, there's only one anthropomorphic Deadpool that can talk, and it is Duckpool. Pandapool cannot talk, but when he does speak, he speaks in "rars," right? Which is Marvel Strike Force did correctly in the little story spotlight thing we got for Pandapool. So he only speaks in "rars." But any other Deadpool can instantly recognize what he's saying and understand him completely. And he does have a complete understanding of English. He just can't speak it. That's really important because once we get to the notable events, Pandapool murks somebody because of what they say. Murks as in kills. Another thing that I wanted to point out, I like these bottom ones to be interesting facts that you may or may not know. Pandapool, this isn't actually Pandapool related, but it totally is. Build-A-Bear released a line of Build-A-Bears that were Deadpool themed, and it had nothing to do with Pandapool at all, but look at these cute little guys. That looks exactly like Pandapool. Even in some drawings of Pandapool, he still has the black little accents going, right? Even on this one that I've got here, he's got the little ones. But, so there was a Build-A-Bear figurine line of Deadpool. Like, think about that. First off, but yes, so you can go out and buy a bear Deadpool that looks exactly like Pandapool, but is not Pandapool. So that's just one of those neat little side things I wanted to point out. It's kind of cool, and it kind of correlates, right? All right, relationships. None are brought up in the comic books. Once again, he's only around for 3 issues. So I brought up these alternate anthropomorphic Deadpool versions that are like him, right? So there's Dogpool, Duckpool, and Deadpool Dinosaur. And in Duckpool, it is very quickly referred to that Pandapool and Duckpool are friends in a different reality. In the actual Deadpool kills Deadpool storyline, that is not the case. And then we've just got Deadpool, Dinosaur, and Dogpool, who are both alternate versions. Dogpool, supposedly, as of the rumors right now, as of the release of this Frosty Features, Deadpool and Wolverine is not out yet, but supposedly Dogpool will be making an appearance in that movie, so that's exciting. That's another hint also that it might have something to do with Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe. So these are all things that all speculation at the moment, but it is what it is. Notable events. So Pandapool is only present in killing Deadpool. Deadpool kills Deadpool, the storyline. So we're gonna go over Deadpool's killing of the Marvel Universe, which then leads into Deadpool killing Deadpool, where we get Pandapool. So our first story does not have Pandapool in it. The only story that Pandapool's ever been in is the second thing we're gonna go over. So Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe. This is perhaps the most famous of the Deadpool storylines on its own. It is what it sounds like, and it's very gruesome, and it's not for kids. It even says it on the comic book cover that it's not for kids. It is very brutal, but it is a lot of fun. So this starts off with Deadpool in Earth 12101, 12101. In this Earth, the X-Men are like, Deadpool, you got an issue. We're gonna commit you, or we're gonna put you in a psychiatric hospital, and they're gonna get your head right. And Wade's like, this isn't a good idea. We shouldn't do that. And they leave Deadpool in the hands of one Dr. Brighton. And after the X-Men are like, okay, have fun getting your brain fixed. We'll see you later, bud. He walks out, and Dr. Brighton's like, haha, all along I was Psycho Man, the villain nobody knows or remembers. So what I'm actually going to do is brainwash you in a different way. So instead of trying to cure him, Dr. Brighton, Psycho Man, his goal is to make all of the people in the asylum, in the hospital, more or less slaves of his. So in doing so, he messes with Deadpool's mind, and Deadpool. So for those of you who don't read comics, Deadpool speaks in different colored. The different colored boxes are different voices in his head that represent a different thing. So white is his actual physical words. White is the serious thoughts that he has. Yellow are his jokes. And then red is sort of this like murderous thing. So in tampering with Deadpool's mind, they remove the white and the yellow thought bubbles, and he is left with the red ones. which are more or less sort of his awareness. The one that's typically drowned out is the only one that's left, is the idea. So this awareness is like, hey, this isn't funny anymore. All of this is fake. You're fake. It all happens because of you. And the only way to stop all of this nonsense is for you to kill everyone. And Deadpool is like, yeah, that makes sense. Everything sucks. So in 12101, we have Deadpool all of a sudden just being like, all right, I gotta kill everybody. So he kills Dr. Brighton, no problem, and automatically he heads off and he goes to fight the Fantastic Four. So he tries to do this all very strategically, because Deadpool, obviously, Deadpool versus somebody like Thor, he's gonna need some sort of trick up his sleeve, or maybe Hulk or something like that. So for all of these different characters, he's coming up with, and a lot of these characters are like, how did he kill this person? He kills them off screen, you know. But so he starts off with the Fantastic Four using some chemicals that hyper extends Reed, so Reed more or less melts to death. He kills the Thing and Johnny Storm, and then he and Invisible Woman are kind of standing face to face, and she's like, I don't like that you did this. I'm gonna kill you. Force field, and head pop. So she pops his head like a pimple, and she thinks it's over, but then she forgets that it is the Deadpool. So he regenerates, obviously, and he stabs her to death. And after that, he starts. Ultimately, what he does is he starts amassing weapons. He takes machinery, he takes bombs, and things like that, and he hops from there, and then he goes and he's decided that he's going to kill Spider-Man next, and so he starts wreaking havoc in New York City, and Spider-Man comes swinging along, and Spidey's trying to do the typical quippy banter, Deadpool's not feeding it back. Spidey's like, what's wrong with you, guy? And essentially, he puts his guard down because he's friends with Deadpool, and Deadpool says, what's up, chump? He doesn't actually say that, but he pulls a pistol out and he puts it up on Peter's face, and he's like, none of this matters. Bam! And he blows his head off, and that's a pretty effective way to end a Spider-Man. From that, the Avengers hear about Deadpool's actions, and they're like, oh crap, what are we gonna do? Well, obviously we need to get out of here and kill Deadpool. And they're like, okay, where is he? And then essentially there's the call's coming from inside the building, Captain. And they're like, oh crap. And the Avengers Tower blows up, and it kills everybody inside except for Luke Cage and Thor, because the heavy hitters. But then Deadpool starts directly addressing, yeah, I figured some of the unbreakable people would be pretty hard to kill. So, and you see Luke Cage get up out of the ashes, and he's like looking at Deadpool, and he's like, I'm coming for you, dude. And he's like, yeah, I kind of planned for this though. So I put micro bombs in your coffee. And Luke Cage has the wait what moment, and then he blows up and he's dead. And then along comes a Thunder God. So one of the things we find out by association in the Avengers Tower, the little conversation they had before they blow up, that Hank Pym is dead. So that little side note feeds into here, because Thor comes down and he throws Mjolnir, and Deadpool dodges it, and he calls back Mjolnir, and he's like, all right, I'm gonna take you out, Deadpool. Your reign of tyranny is over. And Deadpool's like, I wonder what's stronger, the god or the hammer? And as Thor calls Mjolnir back to him, Deadpool throws Pym particles at the hammer and enlarges it in a giant way, and it crushes Thor. So that's how he takes out the God of Thunder. So from there, he moves on. So that's sort of like the end of an issue, and then we come into the next issue with Professor X, and we know that he's killed an awful lot of people off screen. And then so Deadpool appears to Professor X, and he's like, hey, I'm here to end you. So for those of you in the back, Professor X feels like Professor X can more or less kill anybody he wants to when he wants them dead. He just has that ability to end them. And so as Deadpool walks up to him, and he's like, you know what I want you to do it. And Professor X is like, that's not a thing. And Deadpool pulls out a knife and he stabs him in the legs, and he's like, do it. And then Professor X does the call, and he's like, come to me, my X-Men. And then as he does it, He's got his weapon right here, right? Then he looks at Deadpool and he's like, I'm about to fry your inside, son. And Deadpool's mind is like, try me. So in reaching into Deadpool's mind to kill him, he gains the same awareness as Deadpool, and he becomes aware of the fact that existence is nothing. They are just drawings on a page, and he goes brain dead. He automatically dies out. The rest of the X-Men show up, and Deadpool deals with them all very easily. And then he sees Wolverine on a screen, and he's like, "Okay, I want to take these guys out." And so we follow Wolverine for a second. Wolverine runs into a room where he sees Daken and X-23, and they're strung up. And what Deadpool has done is, for some people, you can't kill them. Like, Deadpool will have trouble killing Deadpool, therefore he's gonna have trouble killing Wolverine. They don't die, and so he starts fighting. He shows up and he starts fighting Wolverine. And Daken and X-23 are up, and there's a flamethrower, and the flamethrower every time that they regenerate from death, the flamethrower cooks them again, and they're stuck there forever. And so that pisses Wolverine off. So they're fighting, and this is the very famous Deadpool Wolverine fight, where Deadpool's like, "Your power is not regeneration; it's popularity. It doesn't matter if you're completely decimated. Being popular is going to bring you back to hunt me down and kill me, what have you. So I'm gonna make sure that doesn't happen." And he stabs him down, and then he uses a disintegration bomb that stops regeneration. So from here on, we see Deadpool using these weapons that don't allow people to regenerate over and over and over, right? So this plays into Deadpool kills Deadpool in a little while later. So he uses his first no regeneration bomb. He incinerates Wolverine and leaves the compound. It is at this point that we see, I believe it was, this could be wrong, let me know in the comments if this is wrong. I believe it's Black Widow is somehow still alive, and she contracts Taskmaster to track down and kill Deadpool before he kills any other people. But Deadpool is aware that this was going to happen all along, because he can kind of see outside of the comics. So when Taskmaster finally catches up to him, they start a fight. Taskmaster is a very good matchup for anybody, because as he fights them, he starts to take on their abilities and such. So in doing so, Taskmaster starts to hear the voices that Deadpool hears, and before he can take out Deadpool, before he can fully comprehend what's going on, Man-Thing appears, and Man-Thing essentially just grabs Taskmaster in the back of the head and is like, "You don't exist anymore," and he fries him. And Deadpool is like, "Oh, okay. What do you think you're doing?" And Man-Thing has this realization that the only way to stop Deadpool is to let him succeed. So Man-Thing sacrifices himself, therefore creating a portal to the Nexus of Realities, and lets Deadpool cross into this situation where Deadpool aims to end the multiverse. And that's where Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe ends, and it moves into this storyline called Killustrated. So once Deadpool gets inside of the Nexus, he realizes that there's a lot there, and he doesn't know where to start. So he's like, "I'm going to start off killing the people who wrote my story." So he goes and he appears into the reality, and you see him walk into the room where all the writers who wrote Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe are, and he turns around and he looks at the reader, and he goes, I'll see you soon," and then he shuts the door, and that's how it ends. So ultimately, he kills them. Nothing happens. So this is in Killustrated, not Marvel. This is the bridge you need to get to killing Deadpool. So in Killustrated, we find out he kills them, but he got nothing from it. The universe still exists. He's still there, and he doesn't know where to go next. So he decides to go through where all of Marvel was inspired. So he starts going through classic literature and killing people like Moby Dick or Huckleberry Finn and characters like that. So Marvel's Killustrated, I think it's another 4 issues long, is legitimately him just going through like Moby Dick and those sorts of stories and killing them to try to kind of work this out. And then from there, we get Deadpool Kills Deadpool, where we finally find our introduction and sadly the death of Pandapool. So in Deadpool Kills Deadpool, we find out that this same Deadpool that was killing all the fabled characters or whatever has decided that Deadpools are the center of the multiverse, that Deadpool's, because of their thought, because of their awareness, they create the existence of other things. So that Deadpool needs to kill all the other Deadpools. Fast forward to, once again, as a big reminder, the Deadpool from Killing the Marvel Universe was not in 616. 616 is the main canon. It is not the movies. It is the main comic canon. That 616 Deadpool knows nothing about the stuff going on. So in Deadpool Kills Deadpool, what we find is the Marvel 616 Deadpool fighting, what is his name? Ultimaton, which is a giant robot that spawns smaller robots, and he's killing all these people, and he's like, all the other Avengers are busy, and I'm out here killing this stuff, let's go. And he ends up killing all the small ones, and then the big one's there, and he's having this big showdown with this big one, and then all of a sudden we see a Deadpool-themed spaceship come crashing out of the sky and blowing up Ultimaton. And this ship the ship was the B. Arthur, which is Deadpool's favorite actress, and also the name of this multiversal space traveling ship situation. And so he gets excited, and out from the B. Arthur, we see Kid Pool, Dog Pool, or wait, hold on, sorry. We see Lady D, Kid Pool, and Dog Pool. That's correct. So they come out and they're like, hey, there's a Deadpool that's going around. This very much is the Inheritors situation, where the Inheritors, we've talked about the Inheritors a lot in Frosty Features. The Inheritors are going around and only killing spider people. So Lady D's like, yo, there's a Deadpool going around only killing Deadpools. You're the main Deadpool. You are the one that can defeat him. And Deadpool's like, well, this is a lot of fun, but I'm a hero, so I can't go. And then Kid Pool looks at him and he goes, what are the heroes going to give you? A medal? And Deadpool goes, I guess not. I'll go with you. So then he travels off to go and fight this situation. So what we find, and there's a fight actually here as well. The Deadpool that in question is now going by King Deadpool, and then we see a Deadpool in black show up and start fighting. And so they fight off this Deadpool, but in this situation, we are introduced to Dogpool, and Dogpool is immediately killed. So he's only in the one issue there. He's in some other stuff, I believe, but yeah. So as far as Deadpool Kills Deadpool goes, we see Dogpool for this 1 second. But Deadpool, one of the big things here, it's a Deadpool in black. He's in a black Deadpool costume. And Deadpool's beating him hand to hand, and right before he deals the final blow, that Deadpool, or we'll call him Evil Deadpool for now, he body slips out of the way. Wade misses, and he's like, what's going on? And then boom, chainsaw to the chest coming out. This is very important later. So he gets stabbed in the chest with the chainsaw, but he is still able to turn it around and take that other Deadpool out. So with that, that's right. So he gets stabbed in the chest, and then he turns around, and then that Deadpool, sorry, I'm checking my notes. That Deadpool pulls out a disintegration ray, so everybody's got them now. So Deadpools are very much mortal in this storyline because of these different disintegration rays. It's not only a disintegration ray, but is a ray that stops regeneration, right, fully. So he goes out and he tries to shoot him with it. That's how Dogpool dies. He jumps in the way and he gets de-done, right? So with that, so they all get on a ship. And they're trying to figure out where the next goal is, and they decide to land on this one planet where there's a big carnival going on. And while this is all going, it's revealed that there's a Watcher, and the Watcher in question is just a really big Deadpool fan, and he was assigned as a Watcher just to watch over all of the Deadpools. So he is following along with the Deadpool Corps. And so they get to this planet with the carnival, they walk through and they get to this big tent, and when they walk in, there is just hundreds of dead Deadpools in the middle, and they're like, oh, something bad happened here, let's retreat. And they back out, and they run into a group of Deadpools that include Robot Pool, MODOK Pool, and Deadpool Dinosaur, and they're like, hey, we're gonna kill you, we're the evil Deadpool Corps, or also known as the evil creators of the universe, because once again, the King Deadpool has decided that Deadpool creates all the issues, right? So, in this, we see our final first arrival of Pandapool when Deadpool offers to the evil Deadpools. He says, hey, why don't we just sit down over at Chimichanga and talk all this out? Robot Pool says, I don't like chimichangas. And we see Deadpool attack him very frantic and savagely. because Pandapool does not want people insulting chimichangas. So a fight ensues, and it is brought up once again that the Watcher is, once again, as in compared to all other Marvel stories, not this story necessarily, but the Watcher is supposed to be impartial to all these things. His impartial nature for this, though, comes from the fact that all the Deadpools are cool, and he doesn't know who to choose. So after the good guys win, there is a confrontation with 616 Deadpool and the Watcher, the Deadpool, specifically Watcher, and he's like, hey, you need to pick a side, we need your help. In the event that you go with them, all of this is going to end, so you can't, like, hang out with the cool Deadpools anymore. And the Watcher's like, okay, I'm gonna do it. I'll be on your side because you're the coolest. So as Galactus Pool is destroying it, and Lady Pool is pulled away from being eaten by Galactus. She provides Deadpool with some new weaponry and things like that in the middle of the fight. And she ends up making a sacrificial move, because ultimately Deadpool's like, why are you all doing this? If Galactus is here, we're all gonna die. And they're like, we never meant to walk out of here alive. So Lady D moves to make the sacrifice, and she gets into the B. Arthur, and she flies through the air, and she uses B. Arthur at full speed, going at Galactus Pool's head, and knocks it off, killing him, and that falls on the other bad guy, Deadpool's, which, you know, saves the day thanks to her brave sacrifice. At this point, the good Deadpools turn to the Watcher and like, what do we got to do to fix this? What do we need to do? And he's like, we need to go to the Nexus of all realities and set this right. So Watcher opens up a portal to go to the Nexus of all realities, and they get there, and it is absolutely and utterly empty. And the Watcher's like, this place needs a cost for us to proceed. Do what you will and do it good, bros. The dude abides, and he KOs himself. He sacrifices himself, giving power to the Nexus of reality. Oh yeah, and the last thing, sorry, that was in my notes. The last thing he said was, now go kick your own ass. So he disappears. Also in the midst of the whole thing, Pandapool ends up being the victor over MODOK Pool, or it's just Deadpool. It's DEADPOOL is his name. So Pandapool is able to go with him. So as we follow Deadpool through the rest of this, Pandapool just sort of follows behind him and doesn't say anything, and Deadpool just makes jokes kind of at his expense. They find Night Pool, Samurai Pool, Groot Pool, and Chibi Pool, and there is they make an Evil Dead reference here. I had to point it out because I'm a big Evil Dead fan. But they're talking about how they're the good guys and how the good guys will always prevail. And then Deadpool goes, good, bad, we're the guys with the panda. So that's the best Pandapool reference in the whole thing. If you don't know what that is, definitely check out. I believe that's a reference to Army of Darkness from Evil Dead, the third one. Super fun. Don't take your kids to see it. So in this, we have another fight with there's Spiral Pool and a few other ones, but a more or less final fight comes out, and this is sadly the last time we see Pandapool, because pretty much every Deadpool dies except 616 Deadpool and King Deadpool. They went through the Nexus of Realities to find where King Deadpool was, where his space was. Everybody dies except 616 Deadpool and King Deadpool, and they are standing against each other. And at first, it is a fist fight, but it eventually turns into a battle of wits, as it were. So this battle takes place in what King Deadpool calls is his meat church, which is the best name ever. And so as their fight is going, and it is just being, there's no regen weapons used here. They're just fighting each other, so it very much is a stalemate, as it's Deadpool versus Deadpool. So it becomes a logic battle where each Deadpool is trying to outsmart the other one to kind of make the voices sway the direction. So either turn 616 Deadpool evil, or to turn King Deadpool, or Deadpool, there's a lot of Deadpool words in here. To turn them to the good side. So it is pointed out, and King Deadpool says, don't you remember? You were stabbed through the chest with a chainsaw. Where's the holes in your clothes? And 616 Deadpool's like, oh man, I changed probably. I don't remember it necessarily, but I'm sure it happened. And King Deadpool's like, no. That's continuity. We are subject to continuity. It needs to end because they wanted you to just keep moving on. Your clothes also healed just because you didn't think about it, because there's no thought that needs to go in it. So you can't have this. And this is making Deadpool question whether the legitimacy of his awareness, right? Whether or not it's worth it, etc. And then Deadpool gets this big stroke of inspiration and he stabs the King Deadpool in the chest. And actually he doesn't. They're fighting and a knife appears in King Deadpool's chest. And Deadpool is like, okay, well, how's this? There's a knife in your chest. Did that get there when we were fighting? Or did I magically make it appear there because of the continuity? And King Deadpool's like, you made it magically appear there. You didn't stab me. And then he pulls the knife out, and 616 Deadpool's like, okay, well, why are you healing? And he's like, well, that's what Deadpools do. We heal. And he's like, no. You don't have to heal if you don't want to, because if we're the creators of the universe, you should be able to let yourself die. And the King Deadpool starts going through his own panic. He's like, oh my god, maybe you're right. Maybe all of this is worth something. Maybe I've been doing wrong this whole time. I've killed so many people. And then Deadpool turns and he decapitates King Deadpool. And in doing so, as he's switching sides, and in doing so, he then pulls out a vial of anti-regen acid and he pours it over the Deadpool King Deadpool, so he cannot come back. Deadpool did not want to take the chance. And ultimately this ends with Deadpool going, yay, I'm the last Deadpool, I'm the one that wins. And then he goes to find his way back to the 616 main continuity. There it is. That's Deadpool kills Deadpool. That is technically the end of the Deadpool kills the Marvel Universe full storyline. Illustrated and Deadpool killing Deadpool are all included. It really is just that Deadpool from the 101 or King Deadpool. It really is just, that's the end of his story, so it kind of follows. And that is the only time as of this recording date that we've seen Pandapool in the comics and with his stuff. He really is just, he's there to be a joke, but he is the character, debatably him and Lady D, they are the characters that follow Deadpool the most throughout the story. Power level. In Marvel Strike Force, Scopely doesn't care about power levels, but here in Frosty Features we do. The way that this works, if you are a multiversal threat, you can take out the entire multiverse at a whim, no problem, hands down, taking it out. Universal means that you are the strength high enough to end your reality, maybe hop on over to another one and topple that one. Cosmic means you have the power to take out something like a small planetary body, up to a few of them. You could theoretically take out something like a small galaxy or solar system. Nuclear means you have power equivalent to that of a nuclear bomb, leveling things like small cities or up to a small planetary body with enough time and effort. Super Soldier means that you are a being beyond all capabilities of human strength, being able to level things like a brick wall up to a city block. City level means that you are a human being type person that is trained to the absolute and utter peak of human ability. In Marvel, this is where we see a lot of our mercenaries, our secret agents, our spies, our ninjas, things like that. And then there's Greg. Greg is the undead Asgardian that is spawned by Hela in Marvel Strike Force and left to his own devices. He's not worth a thing, right? So if I theoretically had just finished mowing my lawn and I had a bag full of grass clippings and I was walking it out to a dumpster or a compost heap or what have you, however I feel like, dealing with organic trash that day, and I come across a Greg sleeping in the compost heap that I was about to throw this in, I theoretically could use my bag of grass clippings and take out Greg. Frosty for the win. For the sake of argument and due to undead Asgardian physiology, we are going to equate Greg to a human, regular average human level. So, in the case of Pandapool, what do we have here? We have a super soldier level character. So, Once again, influence is different than actual power level. So with Deadpool Kills the Marvel Universe, he can only take on people one-on-one unless he has some sort of extra tricks that has nothing to do with his actual power set, what have you. What it ends up actually being is that he is a super soldier level, not necessarily in strength, yes in skill, but it all comes down to his regenerative factor, and also he regenerates so fast that he can take on beings like super soldier level things, but he does not have, he has excessively high, he has very high reflexes and things like that, but it is not to the point of, let's say, Peter Parker or a Captain America. Deadpool relies on the fact that he can't die, and that's pretty much it, right? That and training. But with that, we'll put him at the super soldier level. According to Scopely, at the end of the day, this wasn't super great. It does see, they just sort of threw it. They're like, hey, he's a panda, that's done. Maybe that's all they did in the comic books, but there's a little bit of little more context that could have been dived into. And because, okay, why is he eating bamboo? Obviously, one of the only things brought up in the 3 issues he exists in is that he likes chimichangas. Therefore, he's eating human food, right? So they didn't even bother to look anything up. And so I'm saying this is a comic cop-out. They found out that Pandapool exists, pulled up that picture, and decided the rest. That's as far as it goes from there. They didn't really try. They put it up as a joke. We all voted for it. We thought it would be fun to have in the game. It will be fun to have in the game. He's eating his bamboo. That's fine. He should be eating a chimichanga. That'd be way more funny and on character. But nobody decided to read the 3 issues that he's in to figure that out. So it's a comic book cop out. And that is Frosty Features Pandapool. Frosty Features Pandapool. I hope that you all enjoyed it. Please let me know what I got wrong, if I missed anything in the comics. Please be sure to like, share, and subscribe here on YouTube. Doesn't cost you anything but a couple of clicks. As a reminder, I stream weekly on Sunday mornings at the link above where we do Frosty Features Live. I hope that you all have a fantastic, fantastic weekend. Most importantly, stay cool.